Hello, my name's Paul Gray. I received a request to make a tutorial video on how I did what I did in this video.
Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
So here it is.
The technique I'll be referring to is the split screen technique, where you appear on screen with yourself. Even though it's a pretty old trick, it never fails to elicit a smile from the viewer. And it's pretty easy to do.
First of all, let me say that neither one of these guys are actually singing in front of the camera.
I was singing. Weren't you singing? Yeah, I was singing. I think what he means is I was singing, we were singing. But we weren't singing while the videotape was being made. We were just moving our lips.
I keep referring to us as if there are two of us. I don't have a twin brother. They're both me.
That's right, you're me. There's no way you're me. I'm way better looking than you. What he means is I pre-recorded the song. You get the point.
The button I'm pushing there is to play back the song that we pre-recorded. That I pre-recorded. Then we just lip sync with it. I lip synced twice, or both parts. This is getting confusing. You're telling me. You'll also notice a slight buzz sneaks in when I push the button. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me turn the volume up a bit. The buzz isn't on the videotape. It's a buzzing noise that ended up on the audio track produced by my multi-track recorder. When I played it back right there to lip sync with the video camera running, there was no buzz either. I'm not sure where the buzz came from or what causes it. I had to do some pretty serious mixing to get the two voice files to work together. Even though they harmonized pretty good on the multi-track recorder, it didn't work too good in the editor. All these problems are pretty common when overlaying multiple audio tracks. It's usually an exercise in patience, to say the least. In this case, there's a video, which also has its own audio track. And then there's the pre-recorded song, which has two audio tracks. Anytime you record multiple things at different times and locations and try to put them together in one video, the background or ambient noise from each audio contributor is often different. Sometimes it's not enough to notice, other times it's unacceptable. There are a couple of ways to deal with this problem.
Well, the whole thing about editing is that your video can only be as good as your camera and your editing software and your editing skills. True.
It's obvious that I didn't deal with it perfectly for this project because you can hear the buzz. But to be honest, it was much worse on the original cut. I put this microphone active label blinking there on the screen to pose as an excuse for the noise if anyone actually heard it. Here's a couple of methods of dealing with the noise problem. Your first choice should be to take a noise grab sample. In other words, turn your camera on and let it capture the silence for about a minute before you shoot each scene. That way, during the edit process, you have a sample to mix or blend for the purpose of making the background sound similar throughout your production, or at least you can feather the noise in and out so that it's not so abrupt. Another method is to use stock noise filters during edit. Most cameras on an amateur level, like me, actually capture the sound of their own motor while they're running, and that can sure be a problem during quiet scenes. Most mid to upper range editing software packages offer some degree of filtering for the frequency of camera noises. Okay, obviously I didn't invest much into making this video. I woke up that morning with an idea, and within an hour or so I was uploading the finished product. As you can see, my skin is red, the wall is red, and my shirt is red. I really didn't put much thought into that, did I? The lighting is ambient, as illustrated by the harsh light rays coming down from the lighting fixture. There was no audio plan, no microphone, just the camera at a distance. I had no plan at all. I'm getting lazy in my old age.
Hey! Who's he calling old? Your skills at using the camera, the lighting, and audio considerations are all very valid contributors, but assuming that you have a decent camera and the basic knowledge of how to use it, your editing software and your editing skill are what's going to make your finished product worth watching.
I have a relatively nice yet inexpensive editor that I'm happy with. I never intended for it to be perfect. This is YouTube, man, not Paramount. But bear in mind, if you want to make high-quality video productions, you'll have to take all these things into account. Camera quality, lighting, sound, wardrobe, heck, even makeup to normalize skin tones and reduce glare. Different editing packages will have different methods to accomplish split screen, but happily software manufacturers are giving us better and better choices. Years ago, I attempted a similar trick with much less software power, so the technique involved moving the camera. Unless you have a computer to position the camera for you in exactly the same spot every time, moving the camera is not a good idea for split screen effects. Here's how it used to work.
I'd shoot the first scene like this. Then I'd shoot the second scene like this.
Then in post-production, I would move this video to viewer left. Then I would put this one on top and move it to viewer right. And finally tried to match them up so the audience wouldn't see the seam in the middle. It's all but impossible to line things up perfectly, so if you're using this method, it's a good idea to set the scene up beforehand with a natural line to match up against. Even then, it'll take a lot of work to make it look halfway believable. The software I have now offers a really sweet feature to just crop the frame. So I can actually shoot both positions without having to move the camera. Like this. As you can see, the frames line up perfectly because I didn't have to move the camera between shots.
Pretty cool, huh?
Naturally, timing is everything when you're carrying on a conversation with an imaginary you on screen.
It has been suggested that talking to yourself may indicate that you're a little off your rocker. But being able to physically answer yourself, well, you're fruity as a nutcake.
The actor, whomever it is, should rehearse the lines for both characters and have the timing perfectly so that in his head he can calculate when to talk and when to listen, and you get the point. While cut scenes are often necessary, it's much more impressive to have a conversation with yourself without a cut in the middle of the conversation. Here's an example of both.
May I take your order, sir? Why, yes, I'll have a Diet Coke and... Large, medium, or small? Huh? The Coke. Large, medium, or small? Make it a medium. And a shoebox full of 20s, please.
Now let's see a cut scene.
May I take your order, sir? Why, yes, I'll have a Diet Coke and... Large, medium, or small, sir? Huh? The Coke. Large, medium, or small? Make it a medium. And a shoebox full of 20s, please.
Having a cut in the middle breaks up the scene, relaxes some of the timing considerations, but it also takes away from the magic, I think. Another nuance to sell your scene is line of sight. Bear in mind the actor is acting against empty space. There's really no one there when he or she has to make eye contact with the other he or she, or has to react to some action from the imaginary other. Line of sight is relatively simple, but it's a real scene spoiler if you don't take the time and make the effort. You should put a piece of tape on the floor perpendicular to the camera line of sight to act as a position marker for the actor. The actor stands on the tape when shooting both scenes. That way the actor knows where the counter character shows up in the finished product. The tape should also point to some point beyond where the imaginary character is to be standing but off screen. Put an object precisely at eye level. Any object will do, just something so that your actor will know where to focus when he wants to appear to be looking at the other character. The finished product will actually look like they're looking at each other. Always remember to position the camera at such a distance to allow both imaginary characters room to work without overlapping. And remember not to allow your actor to put any part of the body beyond the intersection of the two partner videos.
No, you're imaginary.
Hey, Lefty.
Huh?
Back up a little.
Oh, sorry. You're imaginary. You're imaginary.
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I hope it helped or was mildly entertaining at least. Thanks for watching.
You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.